Hi guys, in this lecture we are going to use animation for masks using the opacity of the mask, and it's a bit tricky, but I want to show you how to use it and how to create these kinds of video mats that are very useful later on. Let's take our video mats composition over here and duplicate it. We have video mats 2, change the name to video mats opacity, so you know very well what is happening. I will double click to open. I will come to the name here and say close other comps. So I have only this comp that is opened. The render queue is not a comp. Now I want to change the kind of animation I'm doing here. I have animated the shape. That's very cool. Let's come here and delete all these keyframes. So we have zero animation. But what do we have? If you come to the layer here, we have the opacity. Now there is a small trick about the opacity. The opacity can go to 0. Unfortunately, for the first layer, it will clear everything else. Let's put it back to 100, but for the second layer, if you open opacity, it will work very fine for you. You see, you can darken it or make it opaque, and this is transparent. The trick here is if you want to use the first layer opacity, we need to create a layer before and we hide it around here so it becomes the major layer. I will select the solid layer, come click and make a small rectangle here. And take the mask 6 now and put it on top and say, I don't know, I will rename it to hidden. Actually, I will lock it later on and press enter. So now let's do this small trick. The first mask, I'm gonna invert it. And then the second mask here, I'm gonna put it subtract. So it's cool. Except this one, we are going to lock so we don't touch. Now if I fiddle with the opacity, you notice I have it non-transparent, transparent. The same for all the other layers. Cool. So let's come to 1 second and we want them all non-transparent. So I keyframe the opacity here. Come to this one, keyframe the opacity also. I will come to opacity, copy, go to the next mask, paste the opacity, go to the third mask, paste again, go to the fourth mask, paste, and paste again. Now, nice trick, right? Press U and you have the opacity all keyframed. I will come to the beginning here, take the opacity to 0. Now I will copy the opacity, Ctrl C, come to the second mask, Ctrl V it, come to the third mask, Ctrl V it. You see it's happening. This one, Ctrl V and Ctrl V. I am so lazy and I love it. Now notice what's happening. The opacity is playing its role, but of course we're not going to leave it like this. What we are going to do is, first of all, to make it a bit shorter. Okay, then take the keyframes and start moving them on the side. Just like this. You can put the timing you want. I don't know if I'm doing a good timing, by the way, but we will test and see. Okay, let's run our animation. Cool, you see what they are appearing. Fine. So we created video mat opacity. Let's take the video clip, create a new composition with the video clip. Take our latest one, which is video mat opacity, drop it on top, and run our animation. And here we are, we have it fantastically working. Right click on the mask if you like, transform and say fit to comp, and you have a very nice animation here with the opacity. And I have seen this in very many professional sites. Now of course what we have to do is to come to opacity, go to composition, say add to render queue, come to the best setting. In fact, we don't need best setting, we want it best, and we go to lossless. We will actually turn it into a quick time RGB plus alpha. That's very easy. And we have animation here, spatial 100%. We're happy from everything. We know when it's going to render, and we will render it in 2 seconds. Right click and import a file. Now it's called video mats with something else. Now it's video mats opacity with a mistake in spelling, but it's okay. I think you will forgive me. Cool. So we have it here. Let's take our video, create a new comp, and take our video mat here and drop it on top. And here you are, you have it at 100%. Let's play it. It will take some time to render. Yep, we can come back here. We say transform and fit to comp. So now you have your matte video that you can put anywhere you want. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this section was very useful to you. what you can do. And what I do sometimes, if I have time free and I feel like it, I will go and create so many of these in many fashions with fireworks, stories like this and so on, and just store them as my video mat library. It's very useful. Actually, I will use 1/100 when there is a need, but the ideas that are there are very good and they help me create even more and more. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next section or in the next lecture.